Welcome back, everyone, to episode 3 of 3 minute warning. 2 minute warning.
2 minute warning.
Welcome back to episode 3 of 2 minute warning. Sorry, we've been gone a while, but Tommy, we actually did have a pretty short turnover from our last filmed episode.
Yes, we do have a lost episode.
Viewers
at home. We filmed something, and
the magic of cinema.
It is lost forever.
It's lost.
The footage has been gone.
It's just gone. So, if you guys were wondering what you missed out on, we talked about things like sticky stuff in baseball, the NBA playoffs, which is now over. So, if we even did find the episode, it'd be very irrelevant because we definitely did not pick the Suns to win.
No.
No, I picked the Bucks, actually.
You
yeah, give me my credit. I picked the Bucks to win. Tommy said Suns, but
okay.
Everything is now irrelevant from that episode.
Yes.
One thing that isn't irrelevant though is we talked about being the fans of the new NHL hockey team, the Seattle Kraken.
The Seattle Kraken.
Just so that you guys don't call us bandwagons when they start doing good. We just want to put that out there that yes, we are indeed Seattle Kraken fans.
Since what was it, like June 30th? I want to say we've been fans.
So
of
we
this
will
franchise.
be talking about that throughout this show, not this show, but more on like future episodes as they do either good or bad. We're gonna have literally like a section of the show dedicated to the Kraken
because we are gonna become hockey fans for you guys.
Just for you guys, because we don't know anything about hockey, and this is the only way we can find out how.
Yeah,
this was the way.
This is the way.
All right, so to start off a bombshell of an episode, we'll go basketball. I mean, I think the NBA season is over now,
but it's just
getting started, right?
Goodness. Yeah, it's just heating up right now.
It feels like the season just ended 2 weeks ago, and now we're starting next season already.
We're like the season, I just felt like the Bucks won, and Giannis is still eating his Chick-fil-A nuggets.
Yeah,
his 50 nuggets.
His 50 nuggets.
He's still not done with those.
Not 51.
No, 50. And he's still not done with those, and we're already like in free agency. Yeah. The draft has already happened.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
All right, so I mean, we can start off. We can talk 2 minutes about the recent NBA draft. So, Tommy, 2 minutes. Your thoughts. Go ahead.
Well, I think this year's NBA draft had a lot of talent, and that's what a lot of experts were saying. There's a lot of talent throughout the draft. And obviously at the top of the draft, Cade Cunningham was the projected number 1, but people were saying, 2-3 Evan Mobley, who went to the Cavs, and then Jalen Green, who went to the Rockets. Like, those were guys who could, in any other year, could be a number 1 overall pick. And then I think there were some other teams, like later in the draft, that kind of made some interesting moves. Of course, the Warriors had 2 lottery picks, even though they have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. So that's really unusual this year. And they didn't trade them. They still have them. And what are your thoughts about that? Them not trading those picks?
I think that it was a very Bob Myers move. For those of you guys who don't know how Bob Myers works, I definitely think that he is like 3 steps ahead every time. So if he plans on trading them, okay. If he plans on keeping them, I think the Warriors got 2 very good picks.
They did.
They got 2 very good picks in Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. Moody Moses, Kendrick Perkins moment right there. But yeah, I think that either way, we could go either way. But before the draft, I was definitely one of the Warriors fans that was like, please trade the picks. Please trade the picks. We need a veteran.
Oh, yeah.
But now, seeing the fact that Kuminga fell to 7 and that Moody fell to 14, those are people that I actually wanted the Warriors to draft. So I was pretty happy about it.
It was pretty crazy to see those guys drop. What do you think was the steal of the draft?
Steal of the draft?
Steal of the draft.
I would say the steal of the draft is the fact that Jalen... This isn't even like a steal, but the fact that Jalen Suggs fell out of the top 4, and that's the time, but the fact that Toronto picked Scotty Barnes over Jalen Suggs, and now they don't have Kyle Lowry is kind of questionable to me.
Yeah, and I mean, with the Magic, they have 2 guards already,
Exactly.
Markelle Fultz and Cole Anthony.
Yeah,
and then they added a third one.
Yeah.
And the Raptors seemed like they needed a guard if Lowry was leaving. So interesting picks for both sides, but I think they're both going to be really solid players.
And for someone who actually kind of watched college basketball this year, because there was nothing else to watch, I'm just gonna put this out there. I'm probably gonna be wrong in the future, but I think that Cade Cunningham should not have gone first.
Wow, I don't think
he's worth a first overall pick. But I think he would fit in well with Detroit. He's gonna fit in well with the system. But I just like watching him play in college. He didn't look like a number 1 pick to me. Okay. But I'm not an NBA scout for a reason.
You're not.
But just watching him play, maybe Jalen Green should have been number 1. Okay. Maybe Mobley 2, and then Cunningham 3. But that's just like he's still a very talented player. We'll see what happens.
I would say this. I think Kuminga and Jalen Green are the front runners for Rookie of the Year, just because they played a full year in the G League compared to other athletes who are playing in college. I think Jalen Green probably is the favorite to win the Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. And who knows, Kuminga on the Warriors could be there too.
And sorry, I know that time is up, but let me just shout out Jalen Green. The fact that he's only the third NBA player of Filipino descent.
Wow,
he's like half Filipino, I think. So there was I forgot the person's name. I think something Townsend, and then Jordan Clarkson, and then Jalen Green. So
that's
now
cool.
There's been 3. So that's pretty cool to me. But yeah, moving on. So the draft, that was like what, a week after the Bucks won, 2 weeks after.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
It was a quick turnaround of what has been a crazy year in the NBA. Now we're moving on another week forward to free agency, which just started today, actually. I know. And there's already been a lot of crazy moves. But first of all, I just thought about this. Before we get to free agency, which I already set up, Russell Westbrook.
I was waiting for you to say that.
The Russell Westbrook trade was made during the draft. So we can talk about, I think we can take 2 minutes to talk about
Let's talk about that trade,
All right, so 2 minutes, go ahead.
Okay. Look, Russell Westbrook, I think, is a top 15 talent in the league right now. I think. Like, just talent-wise, basketball-wise, I would say it's hard to not have him in your top 15.
Yeah.
But as a NBA player that you want on your team, I don't think he cracks the top 25 of players that I would want. And look, they have LeBron. They have Anthony Davis. They were before they got hurt, they were the favorites to win the title last year, and now they just added Russell Westbrook. So you would think that they're going to be that much better, but I mean, I don't think they have a chance with Brooklyn if they compete against each other fully healthy. I just don't see how Westbrook meshes well with that team. I think there are other teams in the West that actually have a better chance of beating them. And what do you think about it?
Russell Westbrook has now been in 3 different teams in 3 different seasons.
Yeah.
And while the Wizards did make a play-in push at the end of the season, you could still tell that Russell Westbrook was not the solution to their problem. No. Right? It was very obvious that the Wizards needed more than Westbrook.
Yeah.
But so that also means that the Lakers, while they already have a good team in place, also need more than Westbrook. And I don't think making that move was really necessary. They gave up 3 really good players and a draft pick, right? Like, I know we've been slandering Kyle Kuzma all over the internet, but man is still a good player, right?
I mean, they did try to trade him to
KCP and Montrezl Harrell, which I think was the biggest piece of that trade.
I think so too.
So, I think that the Wizards are now in a good place if they don't decide to trade Bradley Beal. Yeah. But I don't know about the Lakers.
I don't know. Depending on how the rest of free agency kind of unfolds and what they can get, it will tell how their season will be, I think.
Yeah. And that is 2 minutes on the Russell Westbrook trade. But now we're going to keep the topic on the Lakers, who today have already made like a gazillion moves to what they think could improve their team. Thoughts on that, Tommy? 2 minutes.
Well, you're going to have to... Well, I know...
Well, so we got...
Let's hear some of these names.
We got Dwight Howard back.
Dwight Howard's going back to the Lakers.
Dwight Howard's back. We got... Wow, that's all I forgot.
Kent Bazemore. I remember Kent Bazemore is going to the Lakers. Yep. I believe you said What's Wayne Ellington? Wayne Ellington's going to the Lakers, and I believe there is one more name or two.
There is one more.
We're waiting on it, but
not that one. Trevor Ariza.
So Trevor
Ariza with his 100th team again. Is back to the Lakers. So what do we think about the Lakers making these tiny moves, losing Alex Caruso as well? I mean,
that one hurts. Yeah, I think
I'm not even a Lakers fan, and that hurts.
That one hurts because Caruso actually watching him play at times. I was like, he actually really fits his system really well.
Yeah,
and I think the Lakers are going to miss him most of all.
That makes sense.
I think that's.
I think he's a role player.
Yeah, he's a role player that you want on your team.
Mm-hmm.
And for the Lakers, he's found his role with the Lakers, and he's had it at a championship level.
Yeah.
And now he's gone, and they have to fill that void with an older player.
That's true. I mean, I don't think the Lakers making these flurry of moves today, flurry of signings, makes them a better team.
No. None of these players jump out to me and say, oh, yeah, this team's going to help him win a championship.
No.
None of these guys.
I don't care. Look, this is Dwight's, third time back in LA, and it's just, to me, it's not a move that was necessary.
No.
I get they're trying to bring back old guys to, fit in the system, but, we'll see. Honestly, at this point in LeBron's career, it's just a question of if he's healthy or not.
Yeah.
And, back to the Westbrook thing, if he's capable enough to actually be a person that team can count on.
Yes, and so far of those signings, I don't think there's a real shooting threat.
Yeah,
which is a problem for the Lakers.
Yeah. So
if they address it, then they'll be fine, but they haven't addressed it yet.
All right, so that is our 2 minutes on the Lakers moves for today, but this is one team that I really want to talk about, okay? So we were talking about Alex Caruso.
Yes.
So now we're going to talk about the Bulls.
Okay, let's talk about the Bulls.
2 minutes about the Bulls, who got Lonzo Ball today, got Alex Caruso today. Why am I feeling like the Bulls are a contender?
I thought they were sellers. I didn't think they were buyers. I heard, they're looking at Lonzo. I'm like, but
Chicago?
Really, is he going to go there? He signs. They get Caruso. Mm-hmm. They have, a really young and talented squad. People forget Nikola Vucevic and Zach LaVine are on the Bulls. Right. They're a scary team.
It's a scary team right now.
That's a team that I think in the East, kind of like the Hawks last year, that just comes out of nowhere, makes some noise because they have the talent to do so.
Yep.
If they can figure it out, they're a pretty dangerous team, I think.
I completely agree. It's just it's very, very scary to think of a team that has an all-star point guard, an all-star shooting guard, an all-star center.
Well, I wouldn't say Lonzo's an all. I'd say a star.
A star.
Not an all yet. But he's a star.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right. So now, if you think about this team, it's do they have that lineup that can actually close out games? I feel that was a very big problem for the Bulls last year. I saw a couple Bulls games, and even the couple games with the Warriors where it was very down to crunch time, and no one could make the shot, not even Zach LaVine. So, can you count on Lonzo to make the shot? Can you count on Caruso to make those plays?
Who knows? But I think it's an interesting team to watch out for. They're definitely not done making moves this offseason, so we'll keep an eye on them. And right now, they're making the right moves to help them for the future. So I think we should look out for them come predictions time.
I think the East is becoming better.
It is all around. It's becoming better, and
just because I feel like the Nets made them want to be better.
Yes,
I think that's very important to talk about.
That's making.
All right, now on to the third team I want to talk about today, Tommy.
Oh yeah,
the Miami Heat.
Wow,
the Miami Heat made a lot of moves today.
Some big moves. Too.
All right, so 2 minutes on the Miami Heat, starting with the fact that Jimmy Butler and Duncan Robinson just got signed to massive extensions.
That doesn't shock me because I think they want that kind of culture and they like those players. So I think it was smart for them to keep those guys. But then they decided to add a piece, a champion, an all-star, a point guard, in Kyle Lowry. Yep. I mean, do you think Kyle Lowry is enough to make the Heat title favorites or like to actually compete with the Nets.
See, now at this point, I don't know about the Heat because, I mean, we can't forget about the fact that 2 years ago they made it to the NBA Finals. But
Yes.
there was a lot of hate of them being first round exits, calling them
the bubble guppies.
Just they were special in the bubble and that was it, right?
Yeah.
So now I don't know if they have proven anything to me from this last season to say yes, they might make it, but the addition of Kyle Lowry is a big deal to me.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal to me, and that's because Kyle Lowry is one of my favorite NBA players. Yeah, I don't know why. When the Warriors were playing the Raptors in the finals, like I loved it whenever I saw Kyle Lowry do well.
Oh yeah.
Right? And he's a very lovable guy. Like it's his relationship with DeMar was also very like cute, very like.
And all this before you keep going, I did want to see them reunite. Yeah, if the Knicks were a team that people are saying they could reunite, the Lakers were a team.
No, that was definitely something I wanted to see.
I wanted to see, and technically it could still happen. I mean, who knows?
He's still out there.
DeMar is still out there, and the Heat. I don't know how much money they have, but he was thinking about going for a veteran minimum. Mm-hmm. So who knows?
I know. And in these 9 seconds that I have left, we can also talk about another key addition. PJ Tucker, is now also heading to the Heat. So I think they're building. They're putting pieces together to say we want to make our another run. We want to make another run at it, and we think we can beat the Nets. But right now, I definitely can't say, oh yes, the Heat will make it out of the East.
Oh yeah, okay, that's fair.
That's just all right. Now we can just do 2 minutes. I'll throw some names at you. I'll throw some signings at you, and you tell me your thoughts. All right.
Okay.
So 2 minutes starting now. We got Derrick Rose staying on the Knicks.
The Knicks made a lot of moves. They re-signed a bunch of guys.
Evan Fournier.
They added Evan Fournier, which I think is, and I'm not sure how I think about that.
I don't know what the Celtics are doing, to be honest.
They haven't done anything yet.
The fact that they lost Evan Fournier.
They lost Fournier.
Someone that they pushed to trade for in the trade deadline, which I remember. So now
now the Knicks have him, and I think they look like the same team, and they still have cap space, but now they are better. They added another guy,
and no one expected the Knicks to do well last season. So I think them adding Fournier makes them even better.
Yeah, I think they will be better next year.
All right. Next up, we got Jared Allen staying on the Cavs for a 5-year, $100 million deal.
Now, Cleveland is another team that I think watch out for in a couple years. They have a lot of scary young talent. Mm-hmm. You have Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, Larry Nance Jr. I mean, there's a lot more names. Jared Allen. I'm forgetting one.
I think the Cavs just need
Okoro
more. Yeah.
And they have Mobley now.
Yeah. So they need more.
They do.
I still think they need more.
I mean, they're not going to make a playoff run next year, but I think if that talent develops in the right way, I mean, in 2, 3, 4 years, they could be like a real legit playoff team.
Exactly. And we got Dwight.
We already said Dwight. How are you going, Lakers?
Not Dwight. Norman Powell. Why was I about to say Dwight Powell? Right. Norman Powell returning to the Blazers, who also got Cody Zeller.
They got Cody Zeller?
Yes, the Blazers got Cody Zeller. Okay, so does that make you...
I don't know if Lillard looks at this... So, by the way,
just to remind you, you predicted the Blazers to win it all this year.
I did, because I thought... Man, Lillard played amazing, and I thought Lillard was going to do that, but I thought CJ McCollum, Nurkic, Norman Powell, and Melo would, pick up the slack.
Yeah.
And they really didn't. And
they did not.
No, they could not handle Jokic.
They did not, no.
So... Yeah, I did predict that. I just kind of wanted to see Damian Lillard win a ring, but I'm glad that Giannis won one. I'm glad that a new guy and a new team won a ring. Yeah. That's what matters.
All right. We're going to talk about this other person with the next 2 minutes, but let me just throw out some more names out there. We got Nuggets keeping Will Barton and giving Jeff Green a 2-year deal. So Jeff Green's going to the Nuggets.
Watch out for the Nuggets.
I think the Nuggets are filled with shooters now, so it's very important.
Nuggets are scary.
The Mavs keep Tim Hardaway Jr. with a 4-year deal.
That's a smart move for the Mavs and for Tim Hardaway Jr. I think he excelled in Dallas, and I think him and Luka they were the 2 best players on the team. Yeah. Not Kristaps. Like, Tim Hardaway is the second best player on the Mavs.
All right, we got more names. Hold up. I know the 2 minutes is up, but we're
gonna find another name.
I'm gonna throw more names at you. Okay, so we got. Where is this? We got Doug McDermott going to the Spurs. Just give it a grade, like A+, B.
Like a C.
Like a C.
Like a C.
We got Zach Collins going also to the Spurs.
If he stays healthy, it could be a
Here's
B.
the thing with those 2 Spurs signings. I definitely think that Greg Popovich knows what he's doing all the time, even when he's in Tokyo.
I don't know, because Team USA did lose the game.
Oh, that's true.
So does he know what he's doing? Maybe he does. Maybe they're still going to win gold.
We got Bobby Portis going back to Milwaukee. 2 years, $9 million.
Smart.
Bobby.
That's an A+.
Bobby. We talked about Tim. All right, and here's the one we were talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly Olynyk goes to the Detroit Pistons on a 3-year, $37 million deal.
Look, you guys. I am not joking when I say this. Kelly Olynyk was really good last year. He was really good on the Heat as a backup center. He was really good in Houston when they also as a backup center, and they had nothing. He's going to be I believe the starting center in Detroit or backup to Isaiah Stewart. But that's a team with young talent, and I think you watch out because the Pistons could somehow make a run for a play-in spot because of Kelly Olynyk.
Wow, there are a lot of names. Okay.
There's so many names.
We got Devontae Graham going to the Pelicans. 4 years, $47 million.
Interesting move. Not sure.
The Pelicans just lost Lonzo. I think they're very desperate for new point guards.
And they didn't get Kyle Lowry, so they were desperate. Yeah. That's a desperate move right there.
We got Blake Griffin going back to the Nets on a 1-year deal.
I expected that one.
We got JaVale McGee.
Where's he going?
Going to the Phoenix Suns, which we can talk about that later. So that's going to be our topic for later. The Phoenix Suns.
Suns later.
I think that's it. I think that's
it. You're right.
For now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mike Conley going back to the Jazz on an extension.
Okay.
Good for him. I think the Jazz need to keep these players because, like LeBron said, man, no one wants to go to Utah.
No one wants to go to Utah. So, they got to find a way to keep those players.
Gary Trent Jr. staying with the Raptors. I mean,
it's a good pick.
I don't think what the Raptors are doing at this point.
I think that's okay for them to keep them though.
All right. Now moving on. That was a long 2 minutes. Moving on to the Suns. So the Suns, right?
Suns in 4?
Suns in 9. This is the next team I want to talk about because the Suns were almost there.
They were almost there.
Chris Paul was almost there.
They're 2 games
Devin
away.
Booker was almost there.
They had a 2-0 lead. They were 2 games away.
2 minutes on the Suns talking about their incredible playoff run and what they've done in free agency so far, re-signing Chris Paul and apparently adding JaVale McGee. So 2 minutes starting now.
They were I remember going last year, after watching them in the bubble, going 8-0. I was like, this team next year is going to be like battling for a 7-8 seed.
Yeah.
Then they added Chris Paul. I was like, okay, they're going to be in the middle of the NBA in the Western Conference, like 4, 5, 6, and then to see them catapult themselves to 2 and like going into the playoffs. I think we talked about it. The Suns were like the favorites in our opinion to win it all, and they almost steamrolled the West. People say because of the injuries everywhere else, they still, every team that they face, they're like, yeah, we're better than them. Yeah. And Chris Paul kind of proved himself as a winner. He just couldn't get it done at the end, like has happened, but he actually got to the finals this time.
Yeah. To me, it was very unfortunate because like I said earlier, I picked the Bucks to win.
Yeah.
I was someone who said Bucks in 7, even though the thing was Bucks in 6. But it was hard to pick against a team led by Chris Paul, even though I'm not the biggest Chris Paul fan. He led them to the finals. Like, I mean, it was very obvious, and I talked about this before on the last episode. Like, Chris Paul's impact on these different teams is very obvious and very big to the point where you wanted to see him win. You wanted to see him win his first ring.
Oh, yeah.
And you wanted to see Devin Booker and Ayton just like, just finally be like, yes, we've been in this dump hole for a couple years and now we made it, right? Yeah. But I think the Phoenix Suns re-signing Chris Paul is a big deal because that just shows that he wants to be there. He wants to do it again, right? Even though I don't know if they will, right? The West is tougher.
Yeah, because he could have went to the Knicks. Mm-hmm. He could have went to the Heat. He could have went to the Lakers. All three of those teams needed point guards, but he decided to stay with the Suns. That says a lot about that organization, Monty Williams, and like the team as a whole.
Exactly. So that I want to see what the Suns do this coming season, and I'm very excited for what happens. Yes. I hope that JaVale McGee isn't the only player that they add, but otherwise they have a pretty solid team already.
They do. So, yeah.
All right.
I have a question for you before we go. Because, like, the draft has happened and a little bit of free agency, I want to hear your pick for, like, really early prediction for, a dream finals matchup for next year. Okay. I want to hear, like,
is this like my dream or, like...
Like, what... Well, you have to be realistic, but, like, what would you, like, say... Like... Like if
Cleveland and
you can't say like Orlando versus the Timberwolves like an actual like what would you want to see in the finals next year and what storylines are interesting?
I mean the Warriors Nets
I do like that.
That's the finals matchup that I wanted to happen last season when Clay was hurt. Yeah. Like before even Clay got hurt, I'm like, oh my God, Warriors Nets, this is gonna happen. And that was even like before the whole James Harden thing. Like I wanted to see that happen, and now I even want to see it happen even more. Like with a healthy Clay and like a prime, better than prime Steph. Like that's something that you pay money for. That's like I think that the NBA would want that as well. Like it's very fan favorite-y.
Yeah, because a lot of people say, "Oh, Lakers Nets finals." Yeah. I'm like, no. I mean, no, because I don't think the Lakers can measure up with the Nets. The only team I think they can is Warriors. Yeah. I think they're the only team if they can figure it out. They are the favorite in the West. I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And is that yours? Is that yours as well?
Like, I would as a dream, I'd say the Warriors. And I mean, honestly, no other team in the East really makes it that exciting besides the Nets, and that'd be a really awesome.
I mean, Warriors Bucks could also happen, but I don't think the Bucks have. I was rooting for the Bucks to win the finals this year, but I don't think the Bucks have what it takes to do it again.
I think, I would say watch out for them. I think
they're there.
They're there, and I think, well, they have their guys on lock for the next 4 years. I believe their big three, so. They don't have to win it next year because they'll be there 2-3 years in the future. I don't think the Nets window is as large as the Bucks.
I agree. Just got a Woj bomb in the middle of the episode.
Oh, this is big.
We got Hawks All-Star guard Trae Young agrees to 5-year, $207 million designated rookie maximum extension.
Wow.
Good for Trae. I mean, I've said this before. I'm not the biggest Trae Young fan either. It's not. It's a personal thing. I don't like watching him play. Okay. But good for him.
I think it's going to be interesting next year and for the future because the Trae Young rule will be in effect next year.
That's what I'm saying.
So
right?
Who knows?
So if Trae Young, if you're watching this, Trae Young, if you're watching this, prove me wrong.
Please, prove us
wrong. I actually want you to prove me wrong because I actually want to be a Trae Young fan. By them removing this rule, can you actually measure up, right? Can you not throw your bodies at big defenders and just get these free throws and it be like, oh, say, hey, good game. Like, hey, I got my stats. It's just like, that's why I dislike Trae Young. But if they're going to change that rule this coming season and Trae Young still becomes his dominant self, then yes, I will jump on the Trae Young bandwagon.
Well, look at a guy like Steph Curry and how he's gotten stronger as his career's gone on. I think Trae Young could have that kind of path and get stronger, get more physical. Yeah. And if he does, the way he shoots the ball, he's going to be a very scary player because he has a lot of skill right now.
All right, one last topic on the NBA today. I mean, we have to talk about the Warriors.
We have to at some point.
It's just a staple on the show.
Yeah.
So, Warriors season preview as of today. They added 2 new players from the draft. They haven't added anyone in free agency yet.
Not yet.
Maybe by the time this episode comes out, they have.
You all make some predictions on who you think they're going to get in free agency?
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Let's do that.
So I forgot that I have a list.
Let's say we'll name 2 guys that you think the Warriors could get, and you explain it.
I have 2 guys.
Right, I have 2 guys.
We can do 2 minutes. We can do 2 minutes on the Warriors, but we're gonna put 2 guys. All right.
Here we go.
2 minutes starting now.
Okay.
My 2 guys are Nicholas Batum.
Okay.
Right. And I see.
I know who you're going with too.
Who was I gonna say?
No, you say it.
No, I'm not gonna. We're definitely not thinking the same thing because
no way.
I was gonna say Jeff Green, but
I wasn't thinking that.
I found out that Jeff Green left. So now I have to pick another name, which I have to pick.
Look at the list.
Yeah,
I'll look at it too.
I was gonna. Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
yeah. I know.
Come on.
Yeah, I want Iguodala.
I want
Iguodala. So, hopefully, Nick Batum and Iguodala. So those are my 2.
Okay. For me, I think the number 1 player. I got 1 because Iguodala was my other guy just because he's Andre Iguodala and the Warriors would love to have him. But the one guy that I'm saying, if the Warriors can somehow find a way to get this guy, they will win the championship next year. Like, there's no stopping this team. And that is Patty Mills. Be careful, NBA. If the Warriors get Patty Mills to be their backup point guard, they are one of the scariest teams in basketball because they have Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Dre, Wiseman as their starting 5. They have talented bench players now. Jordan Poole, Kuminga, Moody, Juan Toscano-Anderson, Kevon Looney. That's 10 guys already. They're like NBA starters on other teams. And you add a guy like Patty Mills to run the second unit. That's crazy. Scary to watch. He has been, watching him as an Olympic athlete, leading Team Australia and being the best player on that team. He can run a second unit, and he's done it with the Spurs for such a long time. He could still stay with the Spurs. I don't know how expensive he's going to be, but if he's signing a veteran minimum contract and the Warriors don't get him, they made a huge mistake.
I definitely agree with that. Patty Mills has always been someone to me that I love watching. He's a very talented player. Like, seeing him under Greg Popovich's system, obviously, he's been pretty good. But I think he hasn't reached his ceiling yet. Like, he shows his ceiling when he's in the Olympics.
Yeah,
right. That's what we see.
We see it.
Like, I don't see that when he plays in the NBA, but I see it when he plays on the world stage.
Yes.
So, I think that if you bring him to a team like the Golden State Warriors, he will unleash that full potential. And just because he's been stuck with the Spurs all his career, so I think
new change of scenery, I think is going to help him if he comes to the Warriors, and it will relieve so much off of Steph Curry that team is going to be so scary in the regular season and come playoff time.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So any move that the Warriors make to add to that already good lineup, to me,
is scary.
It's scary. Yeah. Just the healthy Warriors team this season. That's the preview that we're gonna give you. Like, we don't know what's gonna happen. Last season we could have said the same thing at this point of the season.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my God, we're gonna make the finals. Clay's back. Clay gets hurt.
It's
very, very iffy. Very iffy. So, yeah, coming from 2 Warrior fans, we really hope the season is much better than expected.
Yes, that's our goal. That's our hope.
Yeah,
for this team.
All right, so we have a list of free agents here. We're not even gonna do 2 minutes on it. I'm just gonna ask you which free agent still stands out on the list to you as of today.
Well, on this list, do you want me to read off the list?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Danny Green, Otto Porter Jr., Lou Williams. That one, or else as I go down, Lou Williams stands out a little bit because he was pretty good with the Hawks. Patty Mills is the standout. Paul Millsap is, he's an underrated signing for a really good team or even a bad team. I think he could be a guy who could help assist him out. Brian Forbes is okay. Rudy Gay, Tony Snell, James Ennis.
Hey, Tony Snell was the 50-50 100?
50-50 100. I was 50-50 100.
50-50 100 club last season?
Yeah.
He's like the first one on that club.
Who knows?
Man goes crazy.
If he gets more minutes, who knows what he's gonna do.
That's scary though. I wouldn't want to see him on the Warriors just because we have enough shooting. I don't think he would be as big of a role, but whichever team he lands on, good for them.
Oh yeah. You got Iguodala, Avery Bradley, Mike Scott, JJ Redick. I don't know if he could still do it, but as a shooter, he's still lethal. Wesley Matthews, now the guy is a shooter, he's lethal, but actually his defense is pretty solid too. Yeah. So he could be a big asset. Markieff Morris, Where's he with the Lakers last?
Yeah.
The
Lakers actually lost a lot of people.
Yeah. Well,
I think they replaced them with worse people as of right now.
Yeah.
As of right now. So we don't know yet. Yeah.
Robin Lopez, Nemanja, what is it?
Bielitsa.
Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson's another standout.
I think he needs to stay with Detroit. I think. Or was he with Detroit?
He was with the Clippers.
Oh, yeah.
He needs to stay with the Clippers. And then Ben McLemore.
All right. Well,
I think
wherever... I mean, Danny Green is a big name on this list, but I think I see him staying with the Sixers. Like,
he could, yeah.
It's a very...
I don't know. Seth Curry, though, is kind of taking his role.
True. All right, so that'll do it for basketball.
The NBA. Right,
for now. We'll see when this goes out. There's going to be definitely a lot more moves in the coming days. But, yeah, moving on to an even crazier topic.
Oh, yeah.
You thought the NBA was crazy? Talk about the MLB. Talk about the Major League Baseball.
Okay, so last week was the trade deadline, which usually, like, you see a couple teams make a move here or there to help them out.
Yeah.
Usually every team, like, makes a move.
Yeah.
But this year there was so many storylines, so many teams adding talent, getting rid of talent, teams getting rid of all of their talents. We'll talk about... You want to talk about... Let's talk about the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, we can talk about the Chicago Cubs first. So, starting 2 minutes right now. Go ahead.
Okay, so they gave up Chris Bryant. He went to the Giants. Javier Baez went to the Mets. Anthony Rizzo went to the Yankees. Craig Kimbrell went to the White Sox. And
talk about the fact that they lost Jock Peterson.
They lost Jock Peterson
before the trade deadline.
Yes.
So that's pretty much what started all of this.
That started the whole thing. But my question to you, Theo, in this 2 minutes is, which of those 4 names that I named on the Cubs you think is going to have the most impact on their new team?
Chris Bryant.
You think it's Chris Bryant?
Yeah, it's definitely Chris Bryant.
Okay.
The Giants are the best team in baseball right now, and adding Chris Bryant would only make them better. Like,
that's true.
It's very... And plus, they have, like, a bunch of injuries.
Yeah.
The Giants have, like, injuries right now, and they're still the best team in baseball. So, that says a lot about how adding Chris Bryant and how big of an impact that will make on that.
I think that was a good move for them, but I think the move that is already, like, been huge for this team is Rizzo to the Yankees. Mm-hmm. They were a team that, during the season, had no lefty bats. And then I'll add this name out there, too, because we're talking about the Yankees. Joey Gallo and Rizzo go to the Yankees. 2 powerful lefty bats. And already those guys, at least Rizzo's hit 2, maybe 3 homers already in his Yankee tenure. And in Yankee Stadium, they want lefty bats with power because they're going to hit homers easily at Yankee Stadium. That's a dangerous team going into the playoff push. And with those new bats, I think it's really scary, and Rizzo actually helps them a lot.
Yeah, I mean, so we talked about Rizzo, we talked about Bryant, but we can't forget about the fact that when Francisco Lindor returns, it's going to be Lindor and Baez.
Like, that's an incredible duo in the middle infield.
Like, that's something that every baseball fan wants to see.
Yes.
Even though you're not a Mets fan, like, that's something that you want to see.
Just as a baseball fan, seeing those two play in the infield together is going to be insane.
That's crazy. So, now 2 minutes is up. Moving on to the next team that traded all their players away. We're going to talk about the Washington Nationals.
Yeah.
Just a little 2 minutes on what the heck they just did in that trade deadline.
Okay.
So, start off with a big move. Or we can start small.
Let's preface this.
All right.
Max Scherzer was gone. We knew Max Scherzer was getting traded. I was like, okay, he wants to be out west. I was like, okay, the Giants really need him. The Padres really need him. Even the Dodgers need him because with Trevor Bauer being out indefinitely with you know what, he's probably not coming back for a while. So they needed someone to replace him. So all 3 of those teams needed him. But then to see Trey Turner get added onto the deal, for me, made no sense for the Nationals. Like, Trey Turner is, in my opinion, a top 5 shortstop in the league.
At that point, they were just trying to clean house. Like,
maybe
that was
the
point where they were like,
then
we're
at
done.
That point, get rid of Juan Soto. Yeah. Like, I mean, at that point, Juan Solo now, I feel so bad for him because he is one of my favorite baseball players. Yeah. And now he's alone in Washington. And he might request a trade in the coming. Would. Yeah, and he might go. Actually, the Yankees would make the most sense for him to go. Not gonna lie. So, don't be surprised if Juan Soto joins the Yankees next year or the year after.
All right. So just to list out the people that Washington lost, another big departure is Brad Hand. Like that's a very talented arm right there. We got Max Scherzer, Trey Turner. We got Daniel Hudson going to the Padres. Ouch. We got Kyle Schwarber. Like they're trading away these people that are just like, why? Yeah.
And then
we got Josh Harrison and Yan Gomes going to the A's. We can talk about that later.
We'll talk about that one later.
Yeah. We also got John Lester.
Yeah, that's a lot of moves for a team that 2 years ago won the World Series. 2 years ago. The Cubs 5 years ago won the World Series. These teams have not been terrible for a while. They've been good for
well, it happened again.
Second time in our third episode. This is not a good streak.
It's not.
Technically back to back, even though the last episode.
True, the last episode did.
It did not happen in the lost episode, but the last episode it did. Yeah, so we're on a streak right now.
Episode 3. Again, the camera died. And now we're on the phone camera with the less quality. Actually, it's better now.
It's pretty good.
Because I got a new phone.
Oh, it looks nice.
Yeah, so, yay.
What kind?
iPhone 12.
Ooh.
All right, sponsor us.
Okay.
Anyway, I think we cut off at the part where we were talking about the Nationals. So just continuing, we were listing off the fact that they lost all these people. Tommy was talking about Kyle Schwarber. I just don't understand why the Cubs actually decided that this was a good idea. The Cubs, the Nationals.
Both of the teams.
Both of the teams.
Well, I understand the Cubs were and maybe the Nationals too, they're like, well, we're not really in it, and our window's kind of closed, and these guys are probably going to leave us in free agency. So I get that scenario, but to trade everyone seems odd. Yeah.
So... All right. Well,
I have a timer. Oh, right. My phones are here. All right. I say we move on.
Yeah, we can move on.
Our team.
To our team.
The Oakland Athletics.
So.
And they made a couple moves.
Yeah. 2 minutes.
I'll do a timer part. All right, ready?
All right. So 2 minutes on the Oakland A's.
Boom.
I have never seen the A's do this much during a trade deadline.
No.
I don't think. This adds to the fact that this is the craziest trade deadline, maybe ever.
Exactly.
But the Oakland A's made a lot of moves.
I think they did what they
could have made more,
to.
but...
No, I think they did what they had to. What they needed was another outfielder. Mm-hmm. They got in Starling Marte, which I think was a great get. Mm-hmm. They needed better hitting because they have a lot of power, but they strike out a lot. And they, in the past 2-3 weeks or month of the season, their bats have been non-existent.
Very true.
And they added Yan Gomes, Josh Harrison, and Starling Marte to help that out. And they also added a lefty reliever.
Which they only had one.
Was it Chafin?
Was it? Yeah, they only had one lefty reliever before Chafin, which was Diekman.
Yes.
So, very big addition.
That was huge for them.
I think that the A's are now a better team. I still wouldn't say that they are the best team in the AL West. Not even close. We haven't shown... The fact that we can lose to the Mariners and, these, not really good teams says a lot. It's very enlightening as an A's fan to see us be, 4 games ahead of the Astros at the start of May, June.
Yeah.
And now it's August, and we're just down in the dumps, about to be taken over by Seattle in the wild card race.
And the Yankees are catching up.
And the Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays are catching up. Blue Jays are back in Toronto. How about that?
Oh yeah, that is also very good for them.
Yeah, and now watching Semien shine and watching Liam Hendriks shine in their new places makes me sad because the A's just we wasted all that money on Trevor Rosenthal. He won't even pitch this
Very
year.
true.
Jeez.
All right, Tommy, we're going to do 2 minutes on the biggest losers and the biggest winners of the trade deadline.
Oh, I like that.
So 2 minutes starting now.
Okay.
You can start.
I'm going to go my biggest winner and my biggest loser. Mm-hmm. My biggest winner at the trade deadline was, it was the Dodgers. The rich get richer. You can't add Max Scherzer and Trey Turner to a team that already was a top 5 team in baseball. Arguably, like, people were saying number 1, and like when fully healthy, you could say number 1. Mm-hmm. They just got way better. This team, I don't know if they're gonna win the World Series, but they are very, very likely to do so. And then for my biggest loser, I had a team, and there was a team that I was like, and the biggest loser was the Red Sox.
I agree with that.
The Red Sox, all they added really was Kyle Schwarber, but they were one of the top teams in the American League, and the Rays have overtook them for the division now, and they didn't make any other additions, so they could. And with the Yankees and the Blue Jays getting better, they could knock themselves out of the playoffs.
All right. My biggest winner, or not biggest winner, but winners.
Yeah.
I would put the Dodgers up there.
Yeah.
I would put the A's up there.
Okay.
I would also put the Giants. I mean, they didn't do a lot, but Chris Bryant I don't even know who they gave away. It was 2 prospects that we don't know about. So
so that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. I do think that the Dodgers, it was a very win now trade because they traded away their top 2 prospects plus another one. So that's very indicative of what they're planning to do this year, right? Because you're not going to trade away your top prospects if you're not trying to go for something. So that's very important. My biggest loser, I have 2. So 1 was the Red Sox. 2 was the Colorado Rockies, where the fact that the whole the trade deadline, it was, yes, we're gonna trade Trevor Story.
Oh my goodness,
we're gonna get so much for Trevor Story. At the end, they never traded him.
You're so
right.
Yeah,
like,
you're
how,
so right.
How dumb could you be to say, yes, we want a draft pick instead of trading away?
But let's think about what they did in the offseason, too. They traded away Nolan Arenado and gave up $50 million to do so. Mm-hmm. And then they have another star player who they could get something for in a trade. And they're like, nah, we're going to hold on to him for 2 more months.
So it's very, very Colorado-y.
Yeah.
Just based on what they did with Nolan Arenado. But they could have gotten a lot for Trevor Story. And now they just get 1 draft pick.
Yeah, horrible organization in Colorado, kind of like what the Mets have been.
Yeah.
And now it's the Rockies. The Mets basically passed the torch to the Rockies and said,
and now they're making better moves. The Mets are making better
exactly.
moves. So,
that's what happens.
Yeah. Honorable mention, I think that the Padres are also a loser in this trade deadline, even though they got Adam Frazier.
Yeah.
This close to getting Max Scherzer. And I saw that headline, and I was like, the Padres are nearing a deal to get Max Scherzer, and I was like, oh my God, that's a scary, scary rotation. And I'm just here like, wait, the Dodgers got him? And Trey Turner? So, that sucks for the Padres, who now they might not even make the playoffs. Right? So
you're right. With Tatis being hurt, who knows how long he's going to be out.
Exactly.
Wow, that'd be crazy.
And it's definitely going to be Dodgers, Giants. You know, that's
their one
the real NL West thing. So
that's crazy.
Sucks for the Padres. They should have done more. They should have done more.
They should have.
Moving on. We got some. We can talk about some notable trades as well. We can talk about. Actually, let me just talk about this real quick. The A's gave up Jesus Luzardo, which made me very sad. But now realizing that the Marlins have such a good rotation in the future.
They do. They are a scary team to watch.
Very, very scary. That's just something that I wanted to put out there.
That's a good
Jesus Luzardo made his first start today. I don't know if he won. I don't know if we can look that up.
Let's look that up right now.
We can look that up.
I really liked Jesus Luzardo in Oakland, and when I saw that we got Marte, I was like, let's go. And then I heard we trade Luzardo. I was like,
the Marlins won today, 6-3. They defeated the Mets. So
Wow.
That was a Jesus start.
And
right there.
Jesus started.
Yeah.
The future is bright in Miami.
Very, very bright. All right. Next up, like I said, we're gonna talk about some. Well, I'll just do 2 minutes. Throw out some trades that I thought were very, very notable.
The
so
clock is going.
We got Jorge Soler going to Atlanta.
Oh yeah, Atlanta made a couple like low key moves.
Good. We got J.A. Happ going to St. Louis. That's also pretty good. We talked about John Lester.
Yeah.
Going to St. Louis as well. I don't like the Kyle Gibson trade just because I think he's a fluke. I don't think Kyle Gibson is that good, but he went to the Phillies with Ian Kennedy and this other dude. I don't know who that is. Craig Kimbrell. Moved cities.
Now the White Sox have 2 closers in their bullpen. That's insane.
I talked about this before, and I really want the White Sox to show that they're more than just a good regular season team. That's the same thing with the A's, right? Like,
but then again, do you want to see Tony La Russa go deep?
No, see, that's the thing, right?
That's the only thing holding him back. They're such a good team.
Like last season, I was like, wow, the White Sox are doing really good. And they lose to the A's. So it's like very, very different scenarios, but they seem like the same team.
Oh, did you see him run out to when
Jose
Abreu got hit in the head?
Yeah.
You see his little, I don't even know what's a waddle.
Yeah.
It was an
old man waddle.
Yeah.
I think that was a good trade for both sides. The Cubs get Nick Madrigal, where that's probably going to be their only star now.
Yeah.
And Craig Kimbrell heads to the White Sox on a two closer type.
That's crazy for their
bullpen. We got Adam Duvall heading to Atlanta. We got I did not know that Panda is now in Cleveland. Did you know that?
I think he just got cut.
I
just heard that he got cut.
So Atlanta got Eddie Rosario, which is a good move for them, but I did not know that Pablo Sandoval was part of that move.
And he was, and he got cut. So that's kind of, I think he did. I'm not sure if that's official.
That is crazy.
But I heard rumors that he did get cut. So I think that was just a money-saving move for was it the Twins?
The Indians.
Oh, the Indians.
The Guardians.
Which is oh, we didn't even talk about the name change. I like the Guardians.
I like the Guardians.
Yeah, they're good. That's a good name.
Guardians of the Galaxy type,
I don't know. If they don't have like that in their little mascot thing or like for some designs, then they made a mistake.
We also got Jose Barrios heading to Toronto. They needed
that one.
That was a good move.
His start, like
that was a good start.
Blue Jays are a scary team going.
We also got Danny Duffy heading to the Dodgers. That's another move that we forgot to talk about. The fact that the Dodgers are adding... You realize that Clayton Kershaw is probably going to be a Game 3 starter at this point.
Right? Even Game
4.
He's probably 3. Scherzer, you got... Buehler's probably 1. Scherzer 2.
Yeah, and then Kershaw, and then
Duffy. David Price is still there, too.
We got...
Arias.
Yeah, a very, very good pitching for the Dodgers. I hate to admit it, but I might have to go down to a Dodger game when I'm down in LA.
How about this now? Because the playoffs are coming soon for baseball, I want you to give me your predictions. With everything in the trade deadline, no teams can really change after this. So, what do you think is going to happen? What's your prediction? Start 2 minutes. Just give me
my prediction in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So we talked about
who's getting into the playoffs.
I think we talked about this before. When we were talking about how the Giants are a good team right now. We were talking about how we don't think they're gonna make it far in the playoffs. Yeah. Even though we want to see them make it in the playoffs. I still kind of stand by that, but now with the fact that it's the second half of the season and they're still doing this good, makes me think, wait, they might actually make it.
Okay, yeah.
Right? But you do want to see that Dodgers and Giants rivalry spice up, heat up near the end of the season, maybe even them to meet in the playoffs. That's very, very likely, right? Yeah. So, I have either of those teams making the World Series, right?
Okay.
For the American League, though, it's very weird because Houston is just being Houston, like always. Yeah. We also have the Rays, who are now atop of their division. So that's also another possibility. It's hard for me to root against the Rays, just because they remind me of the A's.
Oh yeah,
they're very, very similar teams, and they made it to the World Series. They could make it again.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I don't want to see Houston make it to the World Series. I just really don't.
I don't think anyone does.
Yeah. So I don't have a prediction on who will make it out of the American League without saying the Astros. So I'm just gonna.
Okay, so that's fair. For my National League predictions, I think it's safe to say that the division winners that are there now, I think will stay there. The Mets got better. The Brewers got way better.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the Brewers.
The Brewers are an underrated team, and I think they are a scary team to watch.
And they're very, underrated. The fact that I didn't even remember about the Brewers.
That's what I'm saying. Christian Yelich, a star 2 years ago, is one of their... Not even one of their best
platoon guys. It's very, very weird.
It's crazy in Milwaukee, right? They got a filthy rotation.
Oh, yeah.
But I would say, I know you say, you're not high on the Giants to make a deep playoff run. I think I actually am. I think,
like what I'm saying. They've proven to me that
they are a scary... They have, again, the Brewers, Dodgers, and Giants have three incredible rotations.
Who knew that the NL would be the league to watch out for?
Yeah.
Right? That's crazy.
It's crazy to think that the Padres, if Tatis comes back sooner than later, I think they'll still make the playoffs, and it'd be a very exciting matchup. Dodgers-Padres wildcard game. One game
oh my God.
for it all. Ugh. That would be insane.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. In the American League, I can't go against the White Sox right now, even though Tony La Russa is there. But because La Russa is a proven winner, it makes sense for them to win. And they got a really young squad. They still need to prove themselves, and I think they kind of start doing that. The Astros have already proven themselves. Even the Red Sox kind of are unproven, but they might not even make the playoffs. And other teams, there's question marks, but the White Sox have been solid all year.
Just adding to the fact with the Rays, them getting Nelson Cruz.
Yeah.
They didn't need him.
No, they added him.
They did it, and now it's very... very likely that would be the difference.
It could be.
So who knows? That's the fact that they're now atop of the AL East, and it's very, very scary. Very scary times. Exactly. But one team that I do want to talk about though is the Phillies. Right, the Phillies are slowly making their way up that NL East.
Okay. Yeah.
Because the NL East is pretty stacked. They have the Mets, the Phillies, and the Braves fighting for the first seed. But the Phillies have just been quietly winning games, and I think that a team that's very underrated like that could make a pretty good playoff run.
I disagree. Because the Phillies since 2011 have been a mid-tier team, and I don't see anything different about this team. Nothing about this team makes me say, this team actually is a playoff team. It's not.
Okay.
Sorry, Phillies fans. Sorry, Philadelphia fans. Sorry, Bryce Harper fans. But no. Okay. It's just, I don't see it. And if they somehow make the playoffs and prove me wrong, I don't know what I do. But I just don't think it's going to happen.
And finally, just one more note that I when I saw this trade go down, I was like, I'm going to talk about this on 2 Minute Warning.
Okay.
This
do you want 2 minutes for this?
No, maybe.
Okay, let's just do it and see what
2 minutes on... Okay, let me build this up, because once I saw this trade, it really made me think how bad of a team the Mariners are. And you know exactly what I'm talking about now.
I do. Can I drum roll it?
They traded away Kendall Graveman. They're pretty much one of their best players. Their closer, Kendall Graveman. For what? Why? You're doing better, Seattle. You were doing better, right? You are now catching up to the A's. You are keeping up with the Yankees in the wild card race. Then you trade away your closer. Your closer, who, by the way, let me pull up his stats. I don't even know his stats, but I know he was doing really good.
As you pull it up, I will say this. It's terrible that they trade away their closer and they're going on a playoff run. It's even worse that they decided, hey, you know what? Let's give him to a division rival. Let's trade him away in the division so we still have to play him.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe this is their tactic to say, let's give him to the Astros so that when we play him, we know exactly what he's going to throw.
But other than that,
it's just so dumb.
It just pissed me off so much.
My goodness.
This guy had, let's see, where he has an ERA of 0.79, right?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like that is, like as a closer, like why would you give him to the Astros? Why? Like, you know, we're doing hard enough trying to catch up with the Astros and running away from the Mariners. They're making it easier for us to like run away from them, but they're not making it easy on us to catch up to the Astros.
No, maybe that was their plan. Maybe they want to help us out, but they still don't want us.
Come on.
It's just so. I don't know. It just nothing about that trade made me say
nothing made sense about
like
that
good job Seattle. No. Like you're making moves. No, don't make moves. You have a good team.
Exactly. So, see, 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
2 minutes. We could yell about that.
2 minutes yelling at the Mariners. That's basically what it was.
They're almost becoming a Colorado Rocky garbage organization. They're getting close.
Come on, Seattle.
You're getting that move could put you down, and you could take it from the Rockies pretty quickly.
Thank God for the Kraken.
Yeah.
Thank God. All right. Well, that's it for baseball. If we missed anything, let us know. But I'm pretty sure we covered it all.
I think so. Let's go. How about this? Next, because I think we got to talk about the sport, the NFL. Let's talk about just 2 minutes. Because trading just 2 minutes, whatever you want to talk about the NFL.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go.
So the first episode of 2 Minute Warning, we talked about how Aaron Rodgers is going to leave Green Bay. That doesn't seem like the case anymore because he's back. He signed a contract extension, which I actually researched and watched ESPN about. This is what happened. Based on what happened this offseason, we now see that Aaron Rodgers could go off after the season. He could be traded after the season. He can pick what team he wants to go to after the season. Okay. So the season is a very indicative season for him and for the Packers to see if he would want to stay, if he can win a ring, if he could take the team to another NFC championship loss. Like, you know, the Warriors got someone. We're going to talk about that after this.
Well, let's go. I don't even want to know.
We're not going to know.
Surprise me.
So we're going to talk, but we got a minute left. I'm going to take the whole NFL 2 minutes just talking about Aaron Rodgers. I want to see him do good with the Packers this season. I want to see him do well with Devontae Adams because Devontae Adams is in my fantasy team. And, you know, I just want what's best for Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, I think there are a lot of teams after this season that are going to want a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. So, for the Packers, this is their last effort to get Rodgers his second ring in Green Bay. And if they don't do that, I mean, Rodgers is gone. Yeah, so that even if they do it, I still kind of feel like Rodgers will.
All eyes are on Green Bay this season.
Yeah,
I think all eyes are on Green Bay.
And there's a lot of pressure there, but it looks like Rodgers and Devontae Adams, they feel no pressure, which is interesting.
All right, another thing I want to talk about: Dak Prescott's coming back. I'm really excited for that. I hate the Cowboys, but I love Dak Prescott. It's a love-hate relationship. Another thing I want to talk about: why are the Bears starting Andy Dalton over Justin Fields? And they're very adamant about it, too. They keep being asked, who's your starter? And they keep saying, 100% it's Andy Dalton.
After week 1. Actually, no, sorry. Halfway through game 1, it will be Justin Fields.
That made me so mad.
They'll figure it out. They'll figure it out at some point.
That made me so mad.
They'll just be like, we made a mistake.
Yeah,
but who knows? Because you see in the preseason, like things change.
Yeah,
so
who knows? I mean, it's the same thing with the Niners and Jimmy G. But I still think I have faith with Jimmy G for this season.
But Trey Lance, there's a lot of like hype about him.
There's there's a lot of quarterback uncertainty. The Saints don't know if they're starting Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston.
That's interesting too.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see throughout the season. For now, that's all we got.
All right, let's go to this bombshell. I haven't even seen it
bombshell. Yet. What a big signing by the Warriors.
I'm really scared.
What a very big signing by the Warriors.
I'm scared.
Of all the names we listed out earlier, I don't even think this one was on the list.
No.
The Warriors get Otto Porter Jr.
He was on the list.
He was on the list?
Yeah, he was.
So what do we think about this move?
Wait, how much money do we give up for him?
No.
Please don't. I'm so scared.
We just gave him all the money. Just all the money.
We just gave all the money.
We just all the money.
The one veteran minimum we had, we gave it to Otto Porter.
I don't have the specifics.
I think the Warriors were interested with him during the regular season for like a trade.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was on their radar.
Otto Porter Jr. averaged 9.7 points and 5.4 rebounds across 28 games. 28?
Yeah,
he was injured.
Yeah,
he was injured.
But I mean, he's good, and he's had some big moments in other places, and I think he could be a good. They needed a wing, and they got the wing that they needed. So, yeah. I mean, was it the wing I wanted? No, but they made a move.
It's so funny.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I was just like, oh my god, the Warriors made a move, and then I read the name. And it's
I really wish.
I have no problem with that.
I have no problem with
it's just we have like what two slots.
Yeah,
that's already one.
That's already one of them, and Patty Mills is still available. If I swear, if he signs a veteran minimum with the Lakers, I am going to
go on a parade this season of hating the Lakers.
I would be so mad because I think Patty Mills would be a better starting point guard than Russell Westbrook in LA. But that's just my whole thing on Patty Mills.
Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about the fact that Steph is going to sign an extension.
That's the rumor, and a big extension too. I'm proud.
Super proud. All right, we're nearing the end of the show. Of course, we have to talk about this. It's going on right now, and I'm very excited. We're very, very excited that the fact that we can do a 2-minute warning in the year, in the month, in the days during the 2020 Tokyo Olympics.
In 2021.
In 2021.
Wow.
Right?
Pretty crazy.
So it seems like they saved the Olympics till we started this show. So
yeah,
that
they
we can
knew.
talk about it.
They knew.
So we're gonna do it by sport. Okay, how about this? 2 minutes. I know you want to talk about swimming.
Thank you.
I actually have something to say about swimming because I watch it too, but I'm very casual about it.
We'll 2 minutes.
2 minutes swimming. 2 minutes starting now.
What an interesting year for swimming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the first Olympics since the year 1996 that Michael Phelps did not participate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there are a lot of casual swimming fans who said,
I'm not watching.
I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah.
It's not as interesting if Phelps isn't in it. And I get it because Phelps was such a superstar of the sport that the sport had never seen. Michael Phelps popularized swimming so much that I think it's the most popular Olympic sport now.
Can I give you a number real quick?
Yeah.
The United States has 30 medals just from swimming. 11 golds, swimming? 10 silvers, and 9 bronze.
Who's second? No one's even close to saying. It gotta be Australia.
That is something I want to find
or
out
Great Britain.
Australia with 20.
That's what I expected.
So
Australia is a very
United
good
States,
nation.
Australia, Great Britain, China, and then Russia.
I just want to, do you want to say anything before I go on my rant about swimming?
Ahead.
Okay. I think
You're the qualified one.
we have seen a new superstar in the sport. And that man
I want you to say the name.
Caleb Dressel. This guy is
boy.
He is elite. And the fact that he is a sprinter and he just swept the 50 free, the 100 free, the 100 fly. He won gold with Team USA in the medley relay and the free relay. And if Michael Phelps didn't exist, Caleb Dressel's performance would be one of the greatest of all time. Like Phelps, a bad year for Phelps is 5 medals.
Yeah.
And that's still 5 medals. 5 golds is incredible for an Olympic Games. He swept his events. And there's another event I got to talk about. But this guy is so good. He will start his race off the dive and already be a half body length ahead of his competitors. These are world-class athletes who have been training basically their entire lives to swim, and they are getting beat off the dive by Caleb Dressel in a sprint that's 1 lap. Mm-hmm. You know how important the dive is in 1 lap, and he's doing that? Yeah. It's insane. He's going to be a big name to watch in the sport for the next Olympics, and people are going to... You got to watch out for Caleb Dressel.
Let me just add on to the swimming part before we move on. Katie Ledecky, of course, is one of the greatest. It's been known and it's been looked forward to, but the fact that she lost to the Australian Titmus, I think that's her last name.
Yes.
Was a very exciting rivalry to watch. I never thought I'd be like, oh my god, there's a rivalry in swimming.
There are
in the
a
Olympics,
lot because they're always low key, and Dressel versus Milok in the 100 fly was a really good rate, and that was built up. And to watch that one, and Dressel was so good in that race that he got a world record. They brought out the best in each other. That's what rivalries in swimming do.
Same thing with tennis, right? She got an Olympic record.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's very,
because when you race someone or like someone that you've competed against for a while, like it brings out the best in people. That's why swimming is such an amazing sport, and especially in the Olympics when you're representing your own country. But two things before I stop with swimming. First up, Kate Ledecky. There's one stat that I don't think you know. I believe it's the 800-meter freestyle. You know the 800 freestyle. Yeah. She has the top 23 times ever in the history of the event. Wow. Top 23. Her name goes 23 times before another swimmer is there. I found that out. I was like, that is insane.
That is dominance, right?
That is dominance. Yeah. No, I don't think anyone will be as dominant as Kate Ledecky in long distance swimming. Yeah. Like, she is just a stud. True. All right. The last thing was, did you watch the mixed relay?
Yeah. I saw some of
it. I was shocked when I saw the mixed relay was an actual Olympics sport. Because I had seen it was a world championships thing, but when I saw them like getting out for the Olympics, I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Future is bright for Olympic swimming.
For sure.
All right, we got 2 minutes on gymnastics. I don't know how much you know about that, but we can talk 2 minutes about gymnastics.
I know some of it.
We can talk about, first of all right, we can talk about the fact that Simone Biles needs her respect, okay? Yes. Bring this up on the show. I've seen so much hate, and I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that to the greatest of all time. She's only like, what, 24, 23, and she's done that much? Like, come on, guys. Like, we have to not just, like, ignore the fact that these are athletes. These are people who struggle with different things in their sport, right? Yes. So, very, very disappointed in a lot of people saying a lot of things about Simone Biles, but I'm also very proud of what we've seen from the rest of Team USA in gymnastics, right? Suni Lee,
and she's gonna be a big name going for the future of gymnastics too. And who knows, Simone Biles like stepping down. Maybe we don't even know Suni Lee's name. Like, exactly. Well, I mean, we do because the whole Team USA, but like her being as big at the world stage now. So, but in terms of Simone Biles, I think there is a lot of pressure on any Olympic athlete to one, represent your country, and for two, to be on the world's biggest stage. I don't think there is a bigger stage in sports than the Olympics. Yeah. Just in terms of viewership, the entire world's watching. Yeah. You know that the entire world's watching, and the pressure can get to a lot of people. That's true. You know, you think you watch an athlete, you're like, oh, look at how calm they are. Like, you don't know what's going on inside their head. Like, they are freaking out sometimes. Yeah. So, with that being said, Simone, I mean, I don't know, like, what what is going on in her head, and I'm glad that she's kind of like taking that step back for herself, because I know like if she's not in the right mental state, like gymnastics is a very dangerous sport very to not be in that in the right mindset.
And just let me add on to what you said. The time is up, but let me add on to what you said. Like, without Simone Biles dropping, we would have never known about Suni Lee. Like, the fact that 2008 it was Nastia Liukin. 2012 it was Gabby Douglas. 2016 it was Simone Biles, and now 2022 Suni Lee. Those are different people in different Olympics winning that all-around final. So it's very important for us to highlight these new gymnasts. Exactly. And I think it's great for Suni Lee, and I think that Simone Biles will keep her title as one of the greatest.
All right. I think the last 2 minutes on the Olympics.
Just anything.
No, it's going to be what is your favorite sport? What's your favorite to watch in the Olympics? And why?
Very controversial.
Okay, I'm ready. Go.
Beach volleyball.
Okay.
Or volleyball.
Okay, look. Team USA volleyball, the women's team is like incredible.
They're really good.
The Jordans.
They're really good.
They're so good.
They're really good. Yeah, anything with volleyball. Yeah. Just because volleyball is a really fun sport to watch for me. I'd rather watch volleyball than basketball at this point.
For sure.
But if volleyball was like, if the volleyball scale in the U.S. was like the NBA, there was like an NBA of volleyball, I would watch that.
Yeah,
just because it's very, very good to watch.
I do like watching volleyball in the Olympics, beach or like indoor volleyball, and the fact that we get to see, like, the Olympics is the biggest stage, and we're able to watch sports like volleyball. I watched field hockey for a little bit. I was like, it's actually a pretty cool sport. I mean,
have you seen some of skateboarding?
No, I did see a little bit. I don't know. I'm not a big skateboard fan anyway.
But it's like, it's cool that you could actually see these people like wipe out. In the Olympics, it's kind of crazy.
People were making jokes because like how the Summer Olympics is kind of like, okay, you have like all the different sports and like it's all athletic stuff, and then Winter Olympics they're talking about how there's an event where people cross ski and then they shoot a gun just in the middle of their skiing. Yeah, like the Winter Olympics. People have said like I actually enjoy the Summer Olympics as a whole. But, like, if I'm just going to watch an Olympic sport, like, Winter Olympics has a ton of just sports that you just watch once every 4 years, and you're like, wow, I really like watching this.
Yeah. Very, very underrated sport, though, is archery, which I actually watched archery. It was, like, the middle of the night. I was like, I'm going to watch archery. And it's pretty cool. And have you seen those videos of like the announcer guy like being very hyped about?
Oh no, I haven't seen those.
It doesn't look like he knows. I don't think he's ever watched archery before, but it's very cool to see him be like, "Oh my God, she got a 9!" Like it was very enthusiastic for a sport like archery. Yeah. The time is up, but I just want to say, very, very sad about the fact that the U.S. women's soccer team finally lost.
That is
they went on a good run. You know, they actually lost in the Olympics, and I was like, this is not good. Like, this is not good. When they lost the first time, and when they lost today to Canada in the semifinal match, it was very disappointing. Okay, but they can still play for bronze. So
I mean, that's something.
That's something, right?
But and I do like the uncertainty of the Olympics sometimes. Yeah. Like Team USA basketball, I would like them to actually lose. Like, imagine Team USA not being in the gold medal.
Not gonna lie, I kind of do want to see them lose too.
I want to see them. The team I want them to beat them is Australia. That team is loaded with NBA like talent. And they actually rival Team USA in some ways. So I think they are a scary team to watch out for. It's just like Patty Mills. We love Patty Mills. And imagine Patty Mills going on this. That's probably why he hasn't signed yet, because he's too busy right now.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely.
So it's going to take a while for him to sign somewhere. And hopefully...
But hey, if Draymond can get a hold of him somewhere...
During that game, I think Steve Kerr and Draymond need to be pulling him aside. Being like, we will... If you come to the Warriors, we will let you... I will let you score all the points you want today. Like, Draymond's got to say that.
Yeah.
And that'd be the best of both worlds for me.
And is that it?
I think that's all the sports we have.
That's all the sports we have.
I'm assuming that this episode, looking at this video, we're already at 37 on the phone. And I know the other video was long. This is probably the longest episode
might be the longest
ever.
Episode.
Well, we talked about free agency, the draft in the NBA, the trade deadline in MLB, and the Olympics. I mean, we had a lot to talk about. There are a lot of moves, and I'm glad that we were able to cover it all in a short amount of time.
Yeah. That's the whole point of the 2 minutes, even though we didn't do 2 minutes for a bunch of them. But
we tried.
That's the 2 minutes that we're like, oh, we need to wrap things up.
Yeah. But we do like talking about it a lot.
Yeah. So, anyway, sorry again for the camera switch for the second episode in the row. I will try to get this video up as soon as possible, and when you guys see it, be sure to like
hit subscribe, hit and the little bell icon, and also to get all your notifications.
Now we're gonna be on Apple Music and Spotify, maybe wherever you find your podcast. Apple Podcasts,
you can listen to
Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
Great news, you guys! You don't have to see our faces anymore. You can just listen to our voices
on your way to work, on your way to school. Just listen to 2 minutes.
Just
warning,
in your bed, you're just like, I don't know how to wake up.
But if you are watching this on YouTube, be sure to comment down below to whatever you guys want to see us talk about. I mean,
exactly.
There's gonna be some NHL here pretty soon.
Yeah, give us your thoughts.
There's gonna be some NHL here pretty soon. So just saying.
Here we
go. And again, sorry for the camera switch. I'm gonna try to get some lost episode footage maybe later in the season.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Peace out.
See you guys.
Go Kraken.
Go Kraken.
Go Kraken.